Hey everybody, and welcome back to SF School AI. I've got, I think, a pretty interesting one for you here today, where what we're doing is we're running Claude Code through my little proxy. It's an MTM proxy, and I've got just a simple little web page designed here to capture the API requests that are sent to Claude Code whenever you send it a message. So we're able to kind of get under the hood a little bit and see, what the JSON is in the request and what the prompt is and that kind of thing. So I'm just going to start with like, hi. Just a simple little hi. Hi, what would you like to work on? So I need to, first I got to start with showing it where its captures folder is, which is right here, captures. Okay. And so, see, look at this. This is some of the system prompt. You are an interactive agent that helps users with software engineering tasks. Use instructions below and tools available to assist the user. Important: assist authorized security testing, defensive security, CTF challenges. So we got the system prompt here, doing tasks, bugs. You're highly capable and often allow users to complete ambitious tasks that would otherwise be too complex or take too long. You should defer judgment about whether a task is too large to attempt. Yes, please don't tell me no, Claude, if it seems too hard. Execute actions with care. Using your tools. And so, what I'm a little bit confused about, though, is exactly what these different things are. So I'm going to try searching for them really quickly over here. Like, assume users can't see. So assume users can't see. That's here inside of the JSON. And you are an interactive. Yeah, so these are both within the same set of JSON. Okay, so it's literally right next to each other because these are big old long pieces of JSON. So what it's calling sys3 and sys4 are literally right next to each other in the JSON. But okay, so what I kind of wanted to do is I got the Claude Agentforce SDK, which just recently came out, and I just wanted to tell it like, this project working. Because Cloud will be able to see the MTM proxy that's there, so I'm asking it to get the documentation for it. This is just the Agent SDK Quick Start, which I haven't gotten a chance to explore as much as I'd like yet. So what I'm asking Cloud to do is try to get this project working, but I want to get it working so that it's visible from my MTM proxy. So we can see here a number of more messages. You notice maybe not every single message, but quite often when we first send a message, it first hits the haiku model, and then it hits Opus. So that's interesting. Looks like this first time it was just getting quota, which I imagine it does that all the time. But now we're able to start seeing these flying back and forth here. I'll see, we can see all the tool calls it did. That's pretty neat. Okay, so let's see. Let's start with this one here. I want to get these docs working. Right? Interesting. I guess my user prompt does not make it into these system prompts. You can see it over here inside of the thread. Okay, so these tools, this is just showing all the tools that are registered with the agent. Now what's fun about this, we can ask Claude in the browser to let's see what Claude finds when analyzing its own. Yeah, I suppose that's true. It's really a less efficient way to have Claude analyze it here. It's designed to be human readable, but if I really want Claude to analyze, I would have it analyze over here in the JSON that's piling up. So these are all the JSON files that are being generated with each request. See, so all of these, it's still kind of sticking with the same original user thread. Let me look at the existing project. So it called the read tool. And then when it called read, it's mostly just getting, basically appears to be like a markdown file of the code, you know? And then it's calling read again on the mitmproxy addon.py. Alright, let me see here. So addon.py, Claude Code traffic. So yeah, it's just supplying the agent with the complete file. 162 pages there. Okay, so now we got Claude is thinking to itself, I have a clear picture now. You have a MTM proxy capture setup, the Intercepted API. So I just realized if we go to the end of this, I think it shows everything, right? Yeah, so I guess kind of the simplest way to analyze this traffic for us is to just go to the end and look at it once. But see, basically, in a nutshell, Claude got my request and then its system prompt. List project directory, and so that gave it what I imagine would be a list of all the files. Yeah, like list of all the files, but then what's the system reminder? There's a new message while you were working. Quick start. Important. After completing current task, you must address the user's message above. Do not ignore it. Okay, so this is a bunch of stuff that's kind of appended on to the reply to the agent so that it knows to kind of keep it on track. That makes sense. Prerequisites. Like node and an Anthropic account. System product. So ultimately, so it's exploring the project. It's reading some of the different files to understand what's happening. And then now it's saying I have a clear picture. Reading some more files. It wrote. Now is where we get to writing a file. And then writing a file, writing a file, writing a file. It's now created multiple files. Went into suggestion mode. What's this? Suggest the user might naturally type next into Claude Code. I wonder if it just always does kind of a suggestion mode every time prior to the response or something like that. But so Claude's actual reply mostly told me what it's created, but it looks like there's a here. I wonder if the suggestion mode stuff. So it is, of course, in the JSON. But what I was wondering is if it's inside of the Claude file. I don't see it. So this must be like potentially hard-coded or something like that. I'm not sure. In any case, though, what I'd like to have Claude try and do now is, let's try and run it. Okay, so let's install the SDK. Wait, what? What does it have us do? Install it? SDK, add an API key, which is a little bit annoying for filming. So interesting. Yeah, I suppose this makes sense. It's still, so every request is still showing the whole conversation, right? So now we'll see just a few messages back here. There will be another message from me, which is the user saying, yeah, Python not found. It views this as a tool result, but this is actually what I pasted in when I was pasting the error. You're right, I misread the version. It's response again. So yeah, I don't know, pretty interesting all in all. And then here, let's add one more thing, okay? To make a post tool hook at the end of the reply, you will invoke an agent to read all the JSON and verify there's nothing, there are no private details or information I don't want to share. It will be specific to this project. Want it to be specific to this project, so we're just kind of automating that I'm going to be able to share my JSON now, and I won't have to think about it because it's going to be adding it as a post response tool that when it replies to me, it will clean up the JSON and make sure that there's no, like, I don't think there's any API keys or anything in there, but I did notice that there was one token that like represents my user, and that's going to be a permanent token to represent my user, so people could probably do something malicious with that. Okay, you're right. It's not a post tool hook. It's at the end of a reply. Mention a list and also tell it to think as it goes. Upon finding it, just fill it with X's. Oops. So yeah, that's pretty interesting though, the way that Anthropic is giving it just a suggestion mode, which is like its final prompt right before explaining what it's going to say. So it's kind of understandable now why our context windows fill up. Look at all this that's getting sent every single time we send a single character message. It's going to get this thing, which is like about, I don't know, half the Bible or so already, because we've been talking for 10 minutes. But I don't know, I just thought this might be interesting for you all to see. I will share the mitmproxy project, as well as, I suppose, the JSON. I'll just have it inside of the Git repo. So you'll be able to see this conversation that has happened so far. It will be sanitized, but so that it might be useful for kind of research purposes, or if you ever want to just understand better exactly how Claude is working. So that will be available for you there. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. And by the way, if you do need help with software development or Salesforce or agents in particular, that is my area of expertise, and I am a freelancer, so get a hold of me. All right. Thank you. Bye.